Hi, John. I'm Victoria Storm. I sing with a band called Kettle Strings. We're dropping a tune on March 8th. What's the first thing we need to do?
Hey, Victoria, thank you so much for your question. That is exciting. I wish you all the best for that release. And you have about 2 weeks to go until release day. So here's how I would approach this. The first thing is, I'm a fan of using Facebook and Instagram ads to promote music. It sounds like you're gonna give this a try. And the nice thing with that promo mechanism is that there isn't really a whole lot of preparation work that goes into it. So to me, it comes down to this question. Are you looking to grow your fan email list? If the answer to that is yes, then I would go on now and I would start a pre-save campaign using Hypedit's ad automation with the pre-save feature. And you would want to use the advanced version of this because that helps you to grow your fan email list. And that would run all the way up to the release date on March 8th. And then on the morning of March 8th, I would come back and I would run a just grow my Spotify track or grow my Spotify playlist campaign out of Hypedit and have that campaign deliver new listeners, streams, and fans over to Spotify. And so that's really all it is. If you want to grow emails now, then I would do the pre-save campaign. If the answer to that is no, I don't really want to use emails, I don't want to start a newsletter to my fans, anything like that, then I would sit tight right now and work on other promo aspects. Maybe there's social media content you want to prepare, but with respect to your Instagram and Facebook ad campaign, all you got to do is come back on the morning of your release day, launch your campaign. It's going to be up and running in minutes, and you got to get more listeners, streams, and fans over on Hypedit. Hope that helps. All the best for your release.
12 note here. Is it better to promote a playlist of only your own songs or a playlist mixed with artists with 15 to 30,000 followers to get picked up by the algorithm?
Hey, this is such a great question. And what it refers to is this idea that if your music appears next to big name artists on the playlist, it would tell the Spotify algorithm that it should really put that music in front of fans of those big name artists. Now, I have not seen this play out in a big way based on playlists that we as independent music artists make ourselves. So in my opinion, I would say go for a playlist with only your own music on it because you reap an immediate benefit of getting more streams for every listener and building a stronger bond with your music. I don't know exactly how Spotify weighs this aspect of your music being in the same neighborhood as other big name artists or sharing playlists. This is something Spotify hasn't disclosed and it's somewhat of a black box. But I would imagine that if this was a strong signal to Spotify, then your music would have to appear to this next to the same big name artist on hundreds and if not thousands of playlists for Spotify to really see a strong pattern. Just because you put your music next to big name artists on one playlist is likely not going to move the needle, and it's not something that I have seen either for my own music or for any of the artists that we have in our community. So my response and my recommendation and what I'm doing is playlist with only my own music on it because that really does work well. And it works well right away. Hopefully this helps, and thanks again for the question. See you inside our community.
Hey John, this is Bob Pereira from the Boroughs. I recently did my first ads campaign, and I'm wondering what the next step is gonna be.
Hey Bob, congrats on launching your first campaign. Here's what I would do next. I would first of all let this campaign run for 28 days. You want to give it 28 days to allow this campaign to stabilize and optimize so you get an impression of what results you can expect in terms of visits and clicks, and then obviously in Spotify listeners and streams and fans. And then it's time to launch the second campaign. The second campaign can either be in parallel to the first campaign for another song, or it can be a new campaign and you turn off the old one. But basically, in this campaign game, what you want to do is you want to run multiple campaigns over time first to get a feeling for what does a good campaign look like? What does a campaign look like maybe if it doesn't perform as well as my good ones? You need multiple campaigns to build a reference point and understand, hey, this song performs really well. This song maybe doesn't perform as well. Because in the long term, the goal is to identify your best performing songs, the winners, the songs that are best at converting first-time listeners to fans, and then those are the campaigns you want to keep running for as long as you can. It just takes multiple campaigns on multiple songs, basically to figure out which ones are the winners and then scaling those. Actually, I have some awesome content about this particular topic on the YouTube channel as well, which might be well worth checking out. I launched a video there where I talk about running just 2 campaigns to basically scale to new heights in terms of listeners and streams on Spotify. I think you'll love this video because it really explains in a visual way how you can structure those campaigns. All right, so wish you all the best for this and see you inside the community.
Hey John, how are you doing? I'm Oscar at Pearson Records. My question for you is, how can I promote multiple artists at once Spotify. Thank you.
Hey, Oscar, great question. Two things come to mind. You can obviously run individual ad campaigns for different artists, and you can even do this in Hyped. So Hyped allows you for every ad campaign that you're launching to promote a different artist, different song, use different ad accounts, different pixels. If you promote different artists in different genres, what you'd want to make sure is that you use different Facebook pixels because those don't mix well between genres. But the other option, and that is particularly powerful if you are promoting artists in the same genre, is build a playlist. Build a playlist where you put all the artists and then you run ad campaigns to the playlist. Because now you have the benefit that if an ad campaign drives traffic to that particular song on the playlist that you're promoting and people stay on the playlist, music fans love what you have on the playlist, they listen to more and more of your songs. And this way now all this traffic is being shared on the playlist. You also build followers on the playlist, which means if you have future songs, you can just add them to the playlist and they're gonna instantly pick up more listeners and streams just by being on the playlist. So I'm a huge fan of building my own playlist, and this is something I'm doing just as an artist myself with a playlist that has only my music on it. But that also obviously works if, let's say, you have a record label and you wanna make sure all the artists on the label get that benefit of playlist exposure. So that would be my number two. Separate campaigns or a playlist, and I've seen playlists that we really build and own ourselves do wonders for artists like us.
Push a good performing song, an older one, again with more money? Yes or no?
That is an awesome question. And I'm a strong believer in the benefit of promoting our best songs as opposed to the newest songs. So what I do with my music is I might test a campaign for every new song I release just to see how it performs. But ultimately, I have an evergreen campaign. I have a track that outperforms all the others, and this is where most of my promotion budget goes. And sometimes these tracks are years old. Right now, I'm promoting a track heavily that's already a year old. Why? Because it's the best song that I have right now, gives me the best performance, which means people who hear it for the first time and for whom the song is new anyway, it doesn't really matter when it was released, they really fall in love with this and they want to hear more of my music. So it's one of the tracks that has proven best at turning first-time listeners into fans, and so that deserves most of my budget. So absolutely thumbs up for promoting old tracks.
This is Brad, aka Always Friends. If I have some interests that aren't driving any clicks, what do I do? Thanks.
Hey Brad, great question. So if you run Facebook and Instagram ads for your music and you use different interest targeting, there will always be winners and losers. Whether the losers are not driving any clicks or they're only driving fewer, doesn't matter. There's gonna be winners and losers. Now, I don't do anything. I let the Facebook and Instagram algorithm automatically shift my budget to the winners because that is something that happens. So I don't go in and I turn off something, I let it all run, but I take notice. I take notice of the winners and I take notice of the losers, and I do this in Hyped It because on the ad automation analytics page, I can see exactly the connection between the interest, how many visits, how many clicks into Spotify I got from that. So I see which ones of these are driving the most engaged fans. And then when I launch a new campaign for a song in a similar style, I will use the winners, I will not use the losers, and I'll try some new interest to fill the spots that were previously occupied by the losers. So that way I learn from campaign to campaign. But with respect to turning things on and off in Facebook or Instagram, I don't do that. I'll let the algorithm handle this because it'll do this automatically. Hope this helps.
Hi John, I'm Dami. So my question is, the Spotify growth program, can it apply to other streaming platforms like Apple Music and Play and the rest of them?
Hey, I love the question, and the answer is yes. When you run Facebook and Instagram ads for your music to attract die-hard fans that already love your sound and your style of music, you decide whether to send them over to Spotify, to Apple Music, or any other streaming platform. Now, the ad templates that we've built up in Hyped It, they are primarily built for Spotify, and this is just because most artists are looking to get that traffic and drive it to what they consider the most valuable platform to be. And in this day and age, that is Spotify. I agree with that because on Spotify, we're getting the algorithmic multiplier, which means when we send real fans, Spotify will give us more exposure algorithmically, and that just leads to faster growth of a fan base and an audience. So I'm fully down with this. But you can modify these campaigns to send all the traffic, for example, to Apple Music. And so I've actually recorded a video on this, which is on YouTube, and it's called something with like my Apple Music hack. If you reply back to the email from which you got this message here and ask my team to send you the link to the video, they will. And check this out, because I think that will make it really easy and simple to take what you're doing with Spotify and then apply it to any of the other streaming platforms. All right, so hopefully this helps. Thanks for the great question, and I'll see you around.
An ad campaign for merchandise would be really sick on Hyped It. Have a nice day.
Hey, love this. Such a great idea. And it's been something that's been on my mind. The one thing I haven't been able to solve yet is that merchandise comes in so many different types, right? Somebody might want to promote t-shirts, somebody else mugs, somebody baseball hats, sample packs, what have you. And some of these require slightly different ad campaigns, but it is something that's going on in the back of my head here. So appreciate you pointing this out. In the meantime, if you're interested in monetizing with merch, I have an entire video series on YouTube about this, where I walk through everything from how to come up with a t-shirt design, how to host that t-shirt on a merch store, how to create Facebook, Instagram ads for it. I share the results and everything. So if you want to monetize some merchandise with that, and I love it because it's given me some extra income to put back into music promotion, then for now, I would check out that YouTube video series. And then if Hyped It jumps in with a template in the future and helps us out, I will let you know. All right, thank you so much and see you in the community. Cheers. Want to get your music heard on Spotify with AI? I just launched a brand new video training program called the Spotify Growth Switch, where I show you how to start growing real listeners, real fans, and real streams on Spotify in less than 10 minutes using software and AI. I've used the Spotify Growth Switch system to now grow my music to over 7 million streams and tens of thousands of monthly listeners on Spotify. This works for any music genre. It gets you real fans and listeners super fast, and it's extremely easy to set up, literally just like flipping a spotlight switch for your music. Despite using AI, you don't need to know nothing about tech stuff in order to be successful with this. I've had the tremendous privilege of helping multiple tens of thousands of music artists grow their music on Spotify, many of which have grown to much larger numbers, lots more listeners, lots more streams than I have using the systems that I've taught. Makes me so proud of their success. And so if you want to get more real listeners, real fans, and real streams for your music fast using state-of-the-art software and AI, then click the link below this video and check out the Spotify Growth Switch. I can't wait to help you grow your music on Spotify, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside.